Look at this. This is like the perfect motorcycle road. And we've been on it for like an hour already. And it's just like non-stop. Alright, welcome to Luis TV. We got us a really nice ride this weekend. We're gonna go and ride the Devil's Highway. But first we gotta get there. It's gonna be a 2-day ride because we gotta go to Arizona first and then ride the Devil's Highway back. They call it the Devil's Highway because it was Route 666. Mark of the beast right there. They've since changed the name of the road. What's the name of the road now? It's no longer called Route 666.
191.
This is Jeffrey. He's gonna be leading the ride. And actually, a lot of people don't know this about Jeffrey. In Star Wars A New Hope, the stormtrooper that hits his head in the doorway, that was him. That's this guy right here.
You know what? Every time I hang out with this guy, my credit score goes down.
And off we go. So one of the interesting things about the Devil's Highway is that it's very curvy. I think it's close to 1,200 corners. Perfect road for a motorcycle. Off we go again. We just got to Socorro, pumped gas, and now we're gonna hit the county roads. Up until this point, it's been all interstate. Well, that's not a lovely sight. That is a huge smoke plume from a wildfire. Oh man, I don't know how close we're gonna get to the fire plume, but it looks like we might get into some smoky conditions today. So Contact was a book written by Carl Sagan. It was adapted into a film in the 90s that made this place famous, basically. The antennas all work in unison to make a giant radio telescope. Very cool stuff. I believe this is now the largest radio telescope on the planet. I'm not 100% sure, but I think Arecibo in Puerto Rico was the largest, but that's no longer functional. I think that radio telescope collapsed just recently. Alright, a little stop in Aragon, New Mexico to switch batteries and stretch our legs. God, this bike is so tall. Tiny little gas station in a tiny little town. All gassed up again, on our way to the next town. Arizona. This is why we're here. Check this out. Arizona US 666. That's why they call it the Devil's Highway. The next stop is Clifton, Arizona. That's where we're gonna spend the night. We're on the Devil's Highway. They don't call it that anymore. They changed the name about a decade ago. It's known as the Haunted Highway because while it was called Route 666, people sort of kind of tend to be superstitious about it. Basically, nothing special about this road other than it's really curvy and nice to ride a motorcycle in. You can pretty much guess a lot of superstition about this. About, you know, there was superstitions about unexplained accidents, apparitions, and you know how people get. It's a fantastic road that spans 4 states, and we're in the Arizona section right now. How awesome is this? Wow. So right now we're at about 7,000 feet in elevation, so the weather is kind of nice. When we get to Clifton, Arizona, we're gonna be in like Arizona heat. It should be in the mid to high 90s when we get there. So let's go break a sweat. I am not getting a Scooby-Doo vibe out of this road. I am, however, getting a Drag Me vibe out of this road. I think Jeffrey stopped to go to the bathroom.
Where's everybody else?
I think they all kept going. What a paradise. Look where we are. Well, I didn't realize how high in elevation we are. It's actually 9,300 and some feet up here. It's pretty tall. I think from here on out is all downhill. What a view. That's just amazing. Oh my God, this is by far the best road I've ever been to. Look at this. This is like the perfect motorcycle road. And we've been on it for like an hour already. And it's just like non-stop. I think we still got another hour before we get to our destination. Getting hot. I think we're about halfway down this mountain. Woohoo!
Make you feel better. We have not been here for very long.
This road, I wish it wasn't so far away. This is non-stop, corner after corner after corner. And we've been at this at least 2 hours.
It never ends.
How much longer does this road go?
20 more miles.
It's amazing. And you know, the nice thing is that it's so remote. There's no traffic here. There's no traffic, there's no tourists, there's no cops, there's no parking, there's nothing.
Not a single car.
We're the only ones on this road here right now. I think we're almost done with this. We've been at this all day. What a ride. The camera never really does it justice, but this is some really steep pavement right here. Wow, this is a stark change to the landscape. That mountain was pristine a few miles ago, and now it's just a giant strip mine. This is what a copper mine looks like. So they are removing entire mountains here to harvest its resources. Yeah, definitely didn't think I'd see this on this. This right here that you see, those apartment buildings back there, this is a company town. This is all property of the mine. All right, I think that's our last stop. Clifton, the town we're staying at tonight, is just below us. Straight ahead, see that dam? That dam is there as a flood control. There is no vegetation there to soak up the water when it rains. So when it rains around here, everything floods. That's why that dam is over there. Keep the town dry. All right, welcome to Clifton, Arizona. The end of our journey today. Definitely has a Mexico vibe. Oh, look at that old mission. There's a bridge with a wooden road over there. Home sweet home. Well, that's unfortunate. Looks like there's been a rock slide on top of the railway. That's a bummer. We left the hotel. We're sort of clean. Jeffrey's gonna take us to get some dinner. Nobody knows the town except for him, so we're just following him blindly. Okay, here's some scary. Right here in front of us are floodgates. Look, there's a huge gate right there. There's one on the other side. That's there because of the mine. They stripped all the vegetation from the mountain. So if it rains up there, all this gets flooded. So this is here for worst case scenario. Now it's not gonna rain tonight. Our hotel is on the other side of the floodgate. Good morning and welcome to Luis TV from, what's this town called? Oh yeah, look at
Copper mine.
Yeah, the beautiful photography by Jeffrey Lawler. He's a ride leader and an artist, this guy. A lot of people don't know that about him.
I paint black stripes with weird tires.
With weird tires. So we're going back the same way?
Yeah, 90 miles here to Alpine. Gas up again.
Epic ×2. Let's go get some pancakes and hit the road.
All right, you guys ready?
Ready for it?
Yeah.
What happened last night? Were you like...
I was going like this. I thought something was all over me. La cucaracha.
La cucaracha.
I knew something was funny. There wasn't something right about that.
I don't know where this came from, but check this out. This is right here in the room that we stayed in. Oh man, we literally stayed in a Roach Motel. Hey, bye-bye, Roach Motel. Let's go get some breakfast and then hit the road. Get through the floodgates. That's weird. I mean, necessary in this town. And here comes Taryn, the man, the myth, the loud exhaust legend. We're getting breakfast with the boys right here. I ordered a short stack of pancakes. This is what I got. There's pancakes in there somewhere, I think. Bon appetit. I think this is why there's floodgates. Yeah, with that mine up the hill, man, you need those floodgates. And there is a river that goes through here, the San Francisco River. Pretty cool town. It's been here a long time and it kind of looks it. A lot of these buildings are still from the turn of the century, the other century. And this is kind of cool. There's a bridge here that still has a wooden road. Look at this thing. Yeah. You don't see this every day. That's kind of cool. It's definitely an old mining town. Here's the historic downtown area. It really hasn't changed much in the centuries. How cool is this? I mean, back in those days, this was a mecca of commerce, and this was the business central of Clifton, Arizona. And it was a booming town. It's still a booming town. This mine is the largest employer out here. They pretty much drive the economy. And of course, they always have an old mission. Well, I don't know if I would go as far as saying this town is booming. Certainly business is booming for the mine. It doesn't look like any of that money is staying in the community. Bye-bye, Clifton. Let's go do some cornering. But before we get to the corners, we gotta get through this enormous copper mine. Out of the mine, into the forest, and the twisty roads. We'll be at this for like the next 4 or 5 hours. All right, and the temperature just dropped about 10 degrees. About time. It was hot down there at the mine, and we got perfect weather for riding. Sunny and brisk. There's a wild bronc just hanging out right there. Okay, so the epicness of this road is just difficult to put into words because it's just the best corners ever. And the road just keeps going on and on and on. And then there's these things off the side of the road, little trails that go to like overlooks. Let's get back to the bike. Next stop, Alpine. Man, I'm trying to get some video of Mike, but he just opened it up and left me in the dust. Okay, and again. I think Mike thinks I'm trying to race him. Well, I guess it's a race now. I finally got a shot of him, but I think he still wants to race. There he is, right there. Well, this is rare. We've been on this road a long time already. No cars. And here's a truck. If you love the twisty roads, man, this is just heaven. And there's very little traffic. Well, I honestly think that throughout this whole trip, I've been on the side of my tire a lot longer than I've been on the center of the tire, even with all the interstate bits. That's how curvy this road is. Okay, time for a break. A lot of people don't know this about Jeffrey, but he is so cultured, we call him Yoplait. Hi, we're living in Alpine, Arizona. I think we're going to Pie Town now. No worries, I'll wait for you.
All right, thank you.
Let's go see where the other guys went. Mike came back just to make sure we didn't get lost. Thank you, Mike. So, how do you know when you go through one of these little towns and it's a cattle town? That's how you know. It's anatomically correct, dude.
I'd rather have a bottle in front of me than in front of the bottom of me.
And off we go again. Welcome to Pie Town. it. All right, we're in Pie Town now. It's a tiny little town. Pie Town's famous for their pies and also for a festival they have every year on March 14th to celebrate Pie Day in Pie Town.
I just want pie.
Raspberry pie in Pie Town. Life couldn't possibly get any better right now.
If you had whipped cream, you would.
At the restaurant here in Pie Town, they have a map. People who visit Pie Town, they are allowed to put a pin of where they're from. Look at this map. It's full of pins. This place is popular. All right, and off we go again. Next stop, Socorro for gas. Oh my God, it's so windy. I'm getting blown all over the road. We're approaching the very large array. And boy, this wind is whipping right now. All right, wind, that's enough already. I think that's the last stop. What a ride. That was one of the most epic twisty roads I've ever ridden in my life.